Alright, so now let's see if we can implement 6.6 without changing your theme or messing up anything that you have in place right now. So again, all these refactorings, the point of all these refactorings is that when you want to add or change features in the future, you'll have a much cleaner from which to do that. So when you emailed me earlier, you mentioned a number of really good ideas that you had for that you'd like to implement at some point. All the exercises up through 640 are really setting you up so that you'll be ready to implement stuff like this. Okay, so let's take a look then at 6.6. So 6.6 says make the changes we've described to the room and game classes. So let's take a look, and let's just start. I think it's pretty safe to just add this method, this getExit method. We're not doing anything with it yet, so let's try tacking that on to the room class. Let's see here. So we have set exits. We can add a, let's see, I'm going to say insert method, and I'm just copying out of the book. It says room get exit string direction. So now my parameter is direction, right? Copy and paste here. So, oops, direction of exit. And you'll notice this is not bidirectional. You mentioned you were worried about that. This is only giving the direction of a particular exit. You don't have to put in a return exit if you don't want. If you want somebody to get stuck, that's not a problem. And then what we're going to return is what? The room that the exit leads to. How about that? Okay. Get an exit in a given direction. Okay. So, and then, let's see. So let me just copy the other stuff here. It says, if direction equals north, return the north exit. And we have similar stuff for, oh, it's not really out this much. And then we have similar code for the other directions. Oops. Let's see, so we can go north, or east, or south, or west, right? East, south, west, east, south, west. Okay. And make sure it compiles. All right. Oh, wait a minute. What did I do here? I'm missing the return statement. Oh yeah, I have to return null if it's none of those, don't I? Return null. All right. So Yeah, so like I said, this doesn't do anything by itself because we're just defining something, right? So how did they want us to use it in the book? And let's just make sure that doesn't break anything. Let's see. So what they're saying is, instead of saying next room equals current room dot east exit, we're going to say next room equals current room dot get exit east. Okay. Now this seems like maybe even making it a little more complicated, the code, but we'll see that this is going to really buy us some clarity as far as what's going on and some flexibility too. Okay, so let's go to the game class. And let's see, where do I have that? Find east exit. There it is. Okay. So now what I can do is I can say next room equals, instead of east exit, I'm going to say get exit east. Okay. And part of the idea here too, it has to do with decoupling. We want the room might store the exits anyway, and you'll see it'll be actually nicer to store it in a different way than just having it in those 4 parameters. But so we want the room to figure out how it's going to retrieve the east exit rather than pulling this this field directly. Okay, and in general you want to store your fields as private. Okay, because it's the room's responsibility to decide how we're going to store this. For now, we're saying we have a field north exit. We might decide to keep a hash table, which actually we're going to do later on. We might calculate what the exit should be, and some, or get figured out from a remote database or something. That should just be the concern of the room and the responsibility of the room. Okay, so that's what that responsibility-driven stuff is all about. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these guys all private for now. Let's see here. Paste, paste, and then that way I'll know for sure that let's see, is this compile? That way I'll know for sure that I replaced all the instances over here. So yeah, so for north exit I want to say get exit north, right? Let me copy and paste north and paste. This is going to be south and this one's going to be west. Oh, and I gotta do the same thing down here. This one's going to be north. This one's going to be east. This one's going to be south. And this one's going to be west. Now see, notice it didn't compile here anymore because it says west exit has private access in room, and I did that on purpose. I changed the access in room to private because I don't want any other classes mucking with the fields that are the responsibility of room. Room is the one who decides how these exits are stored. So compile. Okay. All right. So what else? This makes coding one section in the game class much easier as well. In the GoRoom method, the replacement suggested here will result in the following code segment. So right now, this is what we did, right? In GoRoom, We replaced all of these, with get exit that way, right? But guess what? We can do something much cleaner. And again, if you can cut down on the lines of code, you cut down on the opportunities for problems to arise, for different defects and bugs, right? So all of this code segment can just be replaced with this. The next room equals the current room dot get exit, and just pass it the direction as a variable, whatever the direction is that was passed, this direction here. So all we need to do is say next room equals current room dot get exit direction. Look at that. And then we don't need any of this stuff. Okay? And again, like I said, we haven't changed at all what exits are assigned to what rooms, or whether you can get back or anything like that. All we've done is cleaned up the code. All right? So we haven't changed any functionality. We've just made the code cleaner so that as you move forward, it's going to become, you're going to set yourself up so you can add the cool features that you want to add later on. All right, so let's make sure. So now we just have to test this out. Okay, play. Going here, and we're saying, so we're inside the entrance to the dungeon. We're going to go north, and we're in a room close to the entrance. Let's go east. Oh, we're still in a room. Close there, go west. Oh, wait a second. Did these all, where is it doing that before? Where we were always in a room I didn't notice. Let me just double check here. Oh yeah, these are all because that's the way you have the quadrants figured out. Yeah, so it's still going to do that. Yeah, it's still going to do that until you get far enough away, I guess. So, but the next thing to do would be to just test that out. But like I said, that won't change any of the functionality. It's just making it. It's just making the code cleaner. Okay, so that's 6.6.